This video is going to be showing you how to secure the #1 draft pick in Madden 24. After a couple of years away, this feature is finally back and it genuinely adds a lot to the game mode. But it's not exactly straightforward to smash the combine and end up as the #1 pick, so by the end of this video, you'll be able to put yourself in the best position to do so every single time. I went through the draft multiple times, both as a quarterback and a halfback, and while they are slightly different, you do have to do the same things for the most part, so I'll talk about where they differ when we get to it. Once you've chosen your position and created a character, you'll notice that some of the combine challenges will be easier for your player depending on whether they suit his stats, so keep your desired playstyle in mind when you're customizing. The first exercise you'll need to do is the bench press, and this one is easier if you're a bigger build with more strength, but even with a smaller build and more agile build, you can still achieve the same high rank and position on the leaderboard. When you push up with both sticks, try to release them at the bottom of the green box, as the meter doesn't precisely stop when you do, and you won't want to go into the red, so give yourself some room for error. Do the same with the green box at the bottom, and try to press the bumpers or R1 and L1 as quickly as possible in between, but this isn't as important as hitting the green boxes is, due to you getting a stamina penalty for going into the red, so focus on that as the priority. As long as you get within the range of reps expected for you or more, you should get an A for this one, so it's fairly straightforward. Next up is the 40-yard dash, and this one is simple but needs a bit of consistency. Once you've set yourself, make sure to release the sticks as soon as the 1 has disappeared, and you should get a perfect start. Now, while it might seem tempting to spam the triggers as quickly as possible, this isn't actually the optimal strategy, as the rhythm matters more than the speed. Make sure you're pressing one after the other as quickly as you can without messing up the rhythm, then hit X or A as soon as the prompt appears on your screen to do so, and depending on your build, you should come in the top 5 for this fairly easily. The broad jump is then all about the flick before you jump. Spamming A or X really quickly will fill up your power meter pretty easily, but it's important that you land your marker in the light green area to maximize the distance that you jump. Of all the times I've tried this, I've easily won it with anything over 11 inches, so as long as you get those two things right, you should get an A. Finally, you have the 20-yard shuttle, which again requires you to land your marker in the light green area at either end, so it's vital that you focus on getting that as central as possible before worrying about tapping the buttons in between. The buttons you need to press are completely random as well, so if you can get a few presses in the short amount of time you have, even better, but this one should be easy to come first in if your build has a fair amount of speed. Onto the drills now, and this is where the draft differs based on which position you choose to play, as if you're a quarterback, the drills will all be around passing, and then the halfback drills are about receiving and running with the ball, and so on. The drills themselves are pretty easy, but you should be looking to get 8 out of 8 for these, as anything less will grant you a B grade as a result. For the quarterback drills, play the type of pass it's asking you to, which is mostly bullet passes, and aim for the receiving player to catch the ball and gain full control of it when in the marked zone. This means that you have to throw the ball so it reaches him just as he's about to enter the circle, otherwise he won't have time to slow down and will overrun it. You can retry this as many times as you like and the passes won't change, so take a few attempts to judge the timing of each pass so you get the perfect score. For the halfback build, the drills are pretty much the same, but you're receiving the ball. However, the first few will be agility-based running ones. These have you running from zone to zone in the allotted time, but the pattern of the circles only slightly changes, so once you've done it a couple of times, this should be a breeze. The last thing you'll need to do that will impact your draft is the interview, which is actually pretty difficult. You have to answer 10 questions around Madden the game and the sport in general, then you'll get a predicted draft pick as a result. There seems to be hundreds of different questions that it could potentially ask you, so we've created an article where we'll be constantly updating the correct answers as we get new questions. So make sure to click the link to diamondlobby.com in the description if you're struggling with this, and that should help you out massively. As soon as that's over, you're finished and can now progress to see where you ended up getting drafted. But I will say, between my friend and I, we've probably done around 10 to 15 drafts at this point, and the position you get drafted in does seem to have a fair amount of randomness to it. For example, I outperformed him in nearly every single drill and challenge with the exact same build, and he got drafted first, and I was drafted 11th. So don't be disheartened if you don't quite get it first try. Doing all of the things I've explained in this video will put you in the best position to be drafted first, and it will happen eventually. If this video helped you out, you need to watch this other Madden 24 tutorial that I've put on screen for you now.